Tonight on High Strangeness, we dive into a case that left more than just questions, it left a mark. I mean, literally. At this year's MUFON Symposium, one investigator stepped forward with a chilling pattern. Individuals from across the country all reporting strange encounters and all bearing the same unexplained marking on their skin. Joining us today is John Street. He's Indiana's Assistant Director for MUFON and a key member of their Experiencer Resource Team, an elite unit tasked to investigate non-human contact. What are these marks? Who or what is behind them? And why are more and more people coming forward with the same story? Buckle up. This one is a little strange.
Welcome to High Strangeness, where we ask questions and explore all that is strange and unexpected in our reality.
Okay, John Street, how's it going, my friend? I'm glad to have you on the show.
And I'm happy to be here. Excited about it. This is my first time ever doing a podcast, and I'm excited, nervous, but I'll be okay.
You're going to be great. And I'm so glad to have you on. A good friend of mine, Dustin Eskelson from the MUFON group here in Utah, is a friend of mine, and we had a chance to chat not too long ago. And he was telling me about this very interesting finding and investigation that you're doing.
Yes.
As well as some additional stuff. So before we get into it, I'm going to ask you a couple questions, and then we're going to dive into it.
Okay.
But I was curious, you're in Indiana, and what part of Indiana are you joining us from today?
Actually, I'm in Sellersburg, Indiana, which is I'm about 15 minutes from Louisville, Kentucky. So I'm right across the river from Kentucky.
Right on. And has this been your home all along, or have you found yourself there over time for some reason?
Yeah, my wife is from here. I'm originally from Kentucky. I lived most of my life in Kentucky and moved here about 10 years ago.
Nice. And how do you like it there? Is it a fun place, good place?
It's a pretty nice place. Yeah, it is. I got, a couple acres out in the country. My neighbors are pretty far away, which I like, enjoy.
That's right.
It's better to live in the city. And if I need some city life, I can drive 15 minutes and I'll be in Louisville, and there it is.
There you go, man. And winter, how about winters out there? Do you guys have a cold one, or how's it?
It varies. It varies a lot. We can, it can be 70 degrees on Christmas Day or in January, and then it can be -0. So it fluctuates so much. You never know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
It's like the old saying goes, if you don't like the weather, stick around, it'll change.
That's right.
And that's a fact here.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, look, I'm excited, like I said, to have you on the show today. We're going to talk about some stuff. And I want to say that, you hear more and more about these strange and unexpected cases. And it's always really interesting and exciting to get the details. People hear things, but when they get investigated, we find out really deep issues or deep situations that most people wouldn't know. And so I'm excited to get into some of that, because I'm always curious if there are people out there who have had experiences, but they're afraid to tell somebody, or they don't know who to tell. So we'll get into some of that as well, because I think I love to be able to help people get that part taken care of.
Oh, yes, definitely.
As we get into this, though, I was curious, as the Indiana Assistant Director of MUFON, could you tell our listeners a little bit about your role and how you found yourself in that position?
Well, I started as a regular field investigator probably about 5 years ago. And through the process, I probably did at that time probably 40 or 50 cases, just regular sightings cases. And I found myself being the state section director, in which our responsibility as section director is basically, to get meetings together, try to find a way to promote MUFON in their agenda, investigating UFOs scientifically the best we can. And once I got into that, my next step was the ERT team, which is the Experiencer Resource Team, which I'm part of, which stands for the ERT, Experiencer Resource Team, of course. And we primarily do abductions and contact with alien beings.
Amazing.
And since I've been doing that, I think it's been probably 7 or 8 months ago, I became the state assistant state director since there was an opening, and I'm pretty much involved with the Indiana MUFON group because I get all of our meetings together and all of our odds and ends that we do to to get support and maybe teach people about UFOs and how we investigate and how to report. And so I've been doing that, and I'm very interested. I love it. I love the subject. I've been since I was a little kid, and I'm 66 years old, and I've been loving it since I was like 13.
Yeah.
And I finally got a chance to get involved in it a little bit, and I enjoy it being involved in it. It's a lot of fun. Like the
Yeah.
Muon Symposium where I met Dustin at. He's a good guy. He's one of the nicest guys I've ever met in my life.
He is.
And he's we had he had an interesting case that he presented there, and I had my case, and we talked quite a bit. And we had a lot of things in common, and we're both interested in the unknown, especially when it has to do with aliens.
Yeah. Well, before we get into the actual investigation that we're going to talk about today, I'm wondering, just in your home state there, do you find not necessarily ERT stuff, but just the sightings in general, are they getting more frequent in recent years? Do you know?
Well, I'd say in the last 3 to 4 years, we're averaging, and our just Indiana alone, probably anywhere from 7 to 15 cases a month.
Wow.
So that's quite a bit, really.
That is.
Yeah. The problem with a lot of them is you don't have any video evidence or photographic evidence, and you have stories, and most of them we can find the reasons for them. Most of them are like mundane, like aircraft or planets, like Venus and such. And they say Venus is a big problem with them. Well, yeah, it is. You see Venus in the middle of the night, it's odd looking. It's bright. You wouldn't expect a planet to be that bright.
Yeah.
But of course, a lot of them are very unexplained. I'm thinking maybe we have, I would guess, anywhere from 8 to 10% that are unknowns, the true unknowns that we can't explain what they are.
Mm.
And the rest of them, of course, are either not enough information, or we actually identify them as a man-made object or celestial object or something like that.
It's tough when but it's funny to me because I think people are starting to try to look up a little more instead of looking at their phone all the time.
That's it's people walking down the road outside. They're always got their face in the phone. I'm surprised ain't more people hit by cars or run over or anything.
I thought the same thing. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Well, look, I understand at the MUFON Symposium, you presented the case that we're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
And I'm curious because I know it will extend past that one individual. And I do want to get into that. But first, let's talk about, I think it's case 138368, which is the one female. And I'm curious, how did that case come to your attention?
Okay, well, being part of the ERT team, I don't necessarily just focus on Indiana for ERT cases. I do any case that's open, whatever that's assigned to me all over the country.
Okay.
And it just so happens that most of these cases that I'm assigned are around the Indiana area, Indiana, Ohio, Tennessee, because every state doesn't have an ERT member. And so they have, they give it to other states. And this happened to be a UFO case, a sighting that happened many, many years ago, this individual. And it was in Ohio. Well, after that, of course, it's been so long ago, when you get a case that old, 15, 20 years old, there's not much you can do to investigate it because you can't find air traffic or anything like that to try to figure out what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But she also stated that she was, that on a particular night, that she has, thought she was visited by aliens. And once that's done, the field investigator in Ohio, who's doing their UFO sighting part, he finishes his case and closes it out. And automatically on MUFON's forms, they have a special form if you think you've been abducted, and it's called the Experiencer Questionnaire. If that's filled out, that automatically goes to our director of ERT. And after that, he assigns a case. So, if you got a UFO case with an Experiencer Questionnaire filled out, then the ERT will take over. As soon as the UFO sighting part is investigated, the ERT will investigate.
Interesting.
And that's how I got that. That was originally from Ohio, and they gave it to me.
Yeah, that's amazing. And this was a lady or first, right? This first one that we're talking about, a female?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Did she believe that she had been, physically interacted?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely, yes. Because she started having a dream, and she was hearing mechanical at her description is computerized or mechanical voices in her dreams. It
Wow.
sounded like a computer animation or a mechanical voice. Well, she immediately woke up. She stated she woke up and she immediately forgot the dream. So it left her mind.
Yeah.
And then she got in the shower and come out, and she had a mark on her shoulder. It was a circular mark, and she explained it as a crop circle.
Yeah.
It was a circle with another inner circle with lines going through it. And after a day or two, that mark had scabbed over, and when the scab came off, it was raised. You can feel it raised, under the skin, which made her think she had an implant. But she went to the doctor. She actually went to a doctor, and he couldn't find anything. He couldn't tell her what caused it. That was the first thing that she experienced.
Wow. And did she recall something right before that, or or did she have some experience with something, and then maybe at some random time she saw this, or did this marking really come right after some other experience that she had?
No, it came right after her dreams.
Okay,
Dreams
the
she had the night
dreams.
before, yeah. And
Gotcha.
with the mechanical voice, the computerized voice, in which she didn't remember what it was saying, but when she woke up, that's when those that mark was on her shoulder. It was on her right shoulder, right here.
Wow. That's crazy. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
If I had a way to share pictures, I could share the pictures on here. I'm not sure how to do it.
Yeah, I will make sure I include it when I actually
Okay.
publish this. We'll have pictures for people to see.
Okay.
The Now, what kind of physical investigation or analyzation occurred with that? So the doctor looked at it and said there's nothing under the skin.
Yeah.
Did anybody else look at the actual marking themselves and try to do some kind of check on it?
No, not that I know of. Not that I'm aware
Okay.
of. No. Yeah, because the time I received the case from the ERT team, the mark was already gone. I
Hmm.
think she said it was gone within a few days, and it was done. It was gone, so it wasn't there anymore.
It's a good thing she took
I'd love
pictures.
to, got it when she still had it and be able to go up there and investigate it myself, take my own pictures and everything, but that wasn't the case, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's amazing. Was she pretty freaked out by it, or
Oh yeah, she's very freaked out. Yeah, because she's most of her life she's had experiences all of her life with possibly paranormal stuff in her house and odds and ends. But and we'll get to the reason why she thinks this is alien because of the mark. But she also had a dream. I think it was on. Let me check my notes here. It was on like December 14th,
Okay.
same year. This is the mark on her shoulder was on September 9th, 1924.
Okay.
And then on December 14th, 2024, she had a dream again that night. And she woke up about 1 to 3 a.m. in the morning, and she looked down the hall and saw a short, gray colored creature about 4 foot tall walking across the hall.
Hmm.
Now, she did not see the face. She saw it from the side. She said it had a small head. It was gray and spindly looking. So that's what really got her going, not thinking that, it should be something alien. That's what really scared her, freaked her out.
Yeah. Who would expect something like that walking down your
Yeah,
hall?
exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, most people expect to see maybe a shadow figure or something, but not a little gray alien walking across your hall.
Yeah, exactly. Now, did she at the time live on her own, or did she have other family members there? Or
I believe she said she had her daughter living with her at the time.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy. No mention of any interaction with her daughter or anything. Everything
No,
was
none at
okay.
all. Just her. She was the
Yeah.
only one that she hadn't had anything going on with it. And
Let's.
of course, there's a couple, two or three more things that happened to her over the course. 'Cause that's about the time that I've got in touch with her. I think this happened in December, and I started talking to her, and I believe it was first part of like January 1st, 2025
Okay.
this year. So, and on 12/26, the day after Christmas, she was having another dream where she woke up. Well, she was dreaming. She felt like something long and skinny was sticking something in her ears like fingers,
Hmm.
long and real thin. She said when she woke up in the morning, she looked in the mirror and she had red marks under both of her eyes.
I think
And the
there's a
only thing,
picture of that as well. I'll
yeah,
put the picture up.
and the only thing she knows that could have caused that were the fingers in her ears, or whatever it was stuck in her ears. She didn't really say fingers. She said it felt like long, skinny fingers, but she couldn't say for sure they were fingers. That's the way she explained it.
Hmm.
And she had two red blotches, one under each eye. And at this time, I was contacting her every day. And I told her, get in touch with me anything something happened, let me know about it so we can document it and
Yeah.
have proof of it.
Crazy.
And that would freak me out too. I mean, all the stuff going on. I don't know what I would be thinking, especially after I saw a little gray fellow walking through the hall. That's that is really strange.
Yeah, that is. Now
Yeah.
you were mentioning that she has a history of odd experiences, paranormal, different things like that.
Yeah.
Did she ever get into when all that started, and what was it like through her life? Like, did she have it every once in a while? Was it frequent?
According to her, I didn't get a whole lot of detail on the paranormal part she explained, but it's on and off through her whole life. She said all these things happen. She lives in the house she lived in this now is in the same general area where she grew up. It's like within a mile of her original house. And she had 2 UFO sightings during that time, which weren't reported. But she said she saw 2 different strange UFOs in the same general area within a mile of the house she lives in now, which I thought was really strange too. I think she's like she's in her 50s, so and living in the same area that whole time that all this stuff happening in the same little area.
Yeah. Now, with your investigation, was it focused mostly on this incident, or did you ever dive into the previous sightings that she said she had, but didn't actually submit?
The previous the field investigator that had the case to begin with before he went to the ERT, he looked into the UFO aspect of it, but it was just so. It's like 5 and 6, 7, 8 years ago, and when you have that much time elapse, you can't get an accurate. You can't do an accurate investigation because you can't find any facts.
Sure.
I mean, you can't. You can probably get weather going back that far, but for flight radar to look up aircraft in the area at the time, you can't do. You can find some satellite stuff, information you can find going back that far. And of course, you have apps where you can find you can find where stars and planets were any time. You can go back 10,000 years and know where a planet or star was in the sky.
Yeah.
But as for aircraft, which is the most common thing, it's real. You can't find any information about it. It's just not out there right now.
Right. Do you know? Did she describe it as orb type, or did she give any explanation as to what those things looked like?
Both of them were orbs. What you talk round circle orbs, yeah, the lights in the sky.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the first one was like in her teens when she's in her early teens, and then I think the next one was like in her 20s.
It's amazing. I think it's interesting how sometimes it's an event that happens in somebody's life, or sometimes it's a string of events that happen over their life, where they just seem to see things more frequently than the average person.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's like they get identified or picked or something, or maybe they're more sensitive to it. I don't know, but it's interesting.
Yes, I think that's what I believe too. It's kind of like, like animals, they're more sensitive to the paranormal and such like that than humans. And I think there's some humans that are much more sensitive than others.
Yeah.
Can actually, sense that stuff more than others. And I believe that that's the aliens are, if they are abducting her, can sense that they have that sense, and know that she knows that they're there.
Yeah.
And that's why they pick them.
Hey there. Have you ever experienced something strange? Has someone you know shared an unsettling experience with you? If so, leave a comment or drop me a line. I'd love to hear your story and possibly give you a platform to share it. Anyway, thank you, and let's get back to the show. So this lady has experienced stuff throughout her life, and then she has these dreams. One of them where that she feels like something's in her ears, and she has marks on her face. Then she has the incident where she has the mark on her shoulder.
Yes.
Is there any other events that she had also?
Yeah, she had one more event that left marks. It was on February 1st, 2025, where she was dreaming also that night. and it's about 3 o'clock in the morning again. And she felt like something was pulling on her legs. And she got up, and she said she immediately got up and went in the shower, took a shower because it's early in the morning, and she had bruises on the inside of her thighs.
Mm.
And that was really strange also because and she said the strange thing about the bruises, they were gone by the end of the day. They disappeared. They weren't there, but maybe 8-10 hours, and they were gone.
Wow. So almost like pressure, but not enough to leave
Yeah,
bruising permanently. Yeah.
yeah. She didn't know what in the dream what was pulling her legs apart, but she just felt like something was pulling her legs apart.
I'm just curious if she continues to this day to have these crazy things going on, or did
Yeah.
something occur that stopped it from going any
Well,
further?
this is another strange thing. Once we were contacted, and I was in contact with her, she disappeared on me.
Hmm.
I was trying to get a hold of her into a hypnotherapist to undergo regression, and she said she was willing to do that. And from that point on, she just quit answering calls. She quit answering texts, quit answering emails. She wouldn't get back on Facebook and answer on Messenger.
Hmm.
And the original field investigator, he tried to get a hold of her, and she wouldn't answer his calls or texts either. So it's kind of worrisome. I don't know what happened,
Yeah.
but it's kind of strange that she was willing to do all this stuff to figure out what was going on, and then all of a sudden just disappear from the face of the earth.
Yeah, that is odd. So
Yeah,
so when you say disappear, I'm assuming you're saying she didn't disappear for good, but she just isn't responding anymore.
yeah. She isn't responding. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So she won't even respond to reaching out. That's really odd. Like you said, she's trying to report it.
Yeah.
She's troubled by it, and yet
Yes,
she stops.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then when you're looking for answers, and all of a sudden you just stop looking.
Yeah.
If I'm going that deep looking for answers or something, I think I'd be one to stick with it. But I don't know what happened. Why she just changed her mind. It could be a number of reasons.
Yeah.
I can't even begin to guess. I wish I knew.
Right. Yeah. That's bizarre in its own.
Yeah, because I was telling her about the symposium that I was going to have her case on a symposium, and she was willing, and that she told me I could use her name and everything, but then then there was no contact after that.
Yeah. That is really weird. Who knows? Maybe we'll find
Yeah.
out more. Yeah. Is that a situation where that the original investigator or yourself would reach back every once in a while just to see if she changes her mind, or did she make it clear, I don't want to be bothered?
No, she didn't. She never said anything. She just quit answering texts and emails and phone calls. So I've tried several times after that to email her and text her and call. I don't know if she's got me blocked or she's just not answering them. Well, actually, she told the field investigator he got a hold of her on Facebook Messenger,
Yeah.
and he told her that she was sick and that somehow she didn't have time to answer me and that she would get a hold of me, but she never did.
Interesting. Yeah. It makes you wonder if she's just completely freaked out and maybe it's continued, whatever's going on.
That's what I'm afraid of. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I can see where something like that can really drive a person crazy if they don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
All that stuff happening to you, and you don't have a clue what's happening. You know what's going on out there, and if there is something in their house bothering her or coming at or abducting her or whatever.
And it's a weird place that you're in as an investigator, because it's not like you're a police officer who can send somebody to do a readiness check. You guys really don't have any power to do anything at this point, do you?
No, I don't. No. All I can do is just keep trying to get in touch with her, and hopefully one day she'll answer. I just like to know she's okay.
Yeah.
Everything's good. That's what I want to know. That's the reason I kept in touch with her for several months afterwards. Kept checking on her, make sure she's doing okay.
Yeah.
I knew she was pretty well upset about it because we talked on the phone for several hours about everything.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Well, I hope she's got some support. Somebody.
I do too. Yeah.
Maybe over there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, shifting a little bit. I understand that there was another individual somehow, some way, where they were able to, or maybe you found it, but there are more than these. There's more like situations, like other people getting marks on
Yeah.
them. How, how
hmm
did how did you guys connect that?
Well, when she sent me the pictures of the mark on her arm, her shoulder here, I immediately thought, because this is the strangest case I've ever done, with the most, evidence that, ERT case that I've ever had.
Hmm.
And, right away, I thought that mark was really, really strange. So I sent the pictures to our director, Dr. George Medich, and he looked at it. And immediately, within, I'd say 10 minutes, he sent me back three different pictures of three different people in three different places with almost the exact same mark, but on different parts of their body.
Hmm.
And I mean, the marks were almost identical.
Yeah.
And when I saw that, I said, "Something. What is this? There's something that's really strange here.
Right.
These people that have no contact with each other whatsoever, don't even know each other, and it's all over the country. And that's what really freaked me out. And that's what really said, something's going on for sure. I mean, this is not normal.
Yeah. So John, was that provided to you for further investigation to you to follow up with, or were other people doing those investigations and the director just gave you a heads up that, hey, we found this other places, other people are looking into this too?
Yeah, it was more or less just a heads up of saying, hey, look, the case you're working on now, something is real here. Something's going on. This is, I can't remember the definition of it, but it's substantial evidence case is what we called it.
Mm-hmm.
For most cases, you don't have much, but uh, word of mouth. Their story is all you have to go by.
Yeah.
In which it's hard to prove something if it's just a story.
Yeah.
When you have evidence like this, actual pictures and marks on the body, and other marks from other people in different places at different times to corroborate that, that's substantial evidence. Something is going on that can't be explained, and deserves further investigation. Definitely.
Yeah. Did you get a chance to compare notes with those other investigators, or is that covered at a higher level and they don't
That's
share that?
usually covered at a higher level because he didn't give me the names or the cases or anything where those pictures came from. He just sent me the pictures.
Yeah.
So all he said was, here's similar cases that we have documented in our files, and
Interesting.
that's
So it
all
was
that I
more or
had.
less a communication to you to say, hey, keep your eyes open because this has
Yes,
happened
yeah,
more than once. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. This is the case to really follow up on and keep in contact with this person and try to find
Yes.
answers. Hopefully,
Crazy. So any other similarities that you're aware of, and maybe not because you didn't have those other cases, but I'm just curious if there was ever any commonalities, age, maybe they lived in the same place or visited the same place, anything like that that you're aware of.
not that I'm aware of. No,
Okay.
as far as I know, everything's completely separate. And of course, there could be, some place all these individuals visited together, or what at one time in their life, or been someplace, certain state or city or something. I don't know.
Hmm.
It's a question I'd like to ask our director of and see if he maybe get some answers on that and find out more about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it seems like that would be a pretty strong case to combine and do a presentation on because, maybe there's more. Maybe it's
Oh
happening
yeah,
all over the world. Who knows?
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Was actually after that case, I googled marks on bodies from supposedly alien abductions from aliens,
Hmm.
and I saw more pictures than what he had of the almost the exact same mark on people's
Really?
body. Yeah, just by
Wow.
googling it. Yeah, and they had a circle with an inner circle and with
Hmm.
lines going through it, and it looked almost exactly the same. I mean, there's little differences in them where the lines crossed or intersected, but basically it was the same thing. And to me personally, I think that maybe each one had a different type message embedded in it.
Yeah.
By the way the lines were and the way the circles were, the size.
Interesting. So you think it may be a message, possibly.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think it would be some type of message. Otherwise, why would they leave a mark on there? I
Right.
do believe it's some kind of message for somebody somewhere.
Hmm. That's crazy to me. I'm thinking about that and going, wow, there's parts of this world that there aren't probably any investigators. Man, who knows
Oh
if
yeah,
it's happening quite often in
yeah.
far reaches of the world.
Oh yeah, yeah. Now MUFON is global. We do have investigators in other countries,
Mm.
but it's not. Every country doesn't have them yet,
Yeah.
and so there could literally be thousands of these cases very similar to this one that are never reported.
So, what do you think personally, as you do all the investigation work that you do? Do you, so she describes dreams and stuff like that. Do you think that they have just caused her to forget things, or maybe they get her when she's asleep, or any thoughts? I mean, I know this it's a guess probably, but
Yeah,
through all the investigation work and the different people that you talk to, maybe you formed an opinion on what maybe this would be like.
yeah. Well, I think it happens when they're dreaming. I'm thinking that when this all this activity is going on, getting the marks and stuff going on, that their mind is realizing that something's going on and causing them to dream.
Yeah,
I mean, because if somebody's messing with your body, the mind's an amazing thing.
very
And
true.
it's still working while we're asleep. We don't know it, but it is.
Yeah,
And it could be sensing something's going on, and which causing the dreaming, which maybe it's some kind of a alert mechanism saying, "Hey, something's going on." I'm dreaming. You're dreaming, so it'll wake you up.
yeah,
I don't know. It's my opinion. It's something like that could be going on. Because that's one thing. Doing these ERT cases, that's one thing I've learned, that the mind is an amazing thing. I mean, oh gosh, that's just unbelievable. It's like the universe, just
yeah,
wide open, and there's so much about it we don't know.
yeah. Can you talk a little bit about that? When you say, do you see people either through stress, fear, and experiences, does it cause things to manifest in their body? Is that what you mean? Like the brain has that kind of power? Or the brain can, close and forget things that maybe they've experienced? What are you referring to when you say that?
Well, I don't necessarily believe that the mind is making the marks on the body or causing that. I believe the mind is alerting the person when this is happening
Hmm.
by way of dream, saying, "Hey, something's going on with you right now."
Okay.
That's
So not
that's what I think.
so essentially something has happened to make them forget,
Yes.
but
hmm
they are trying to tell themselves you had something
Yeah.
happen to you. Okay.
Subconsciously, something in their mind is telling them, "Say, hey, listen, something happened to you. Something's going on.
Yeah.
Be
Yes.
aware."
Crazy to me, man. And it's interesting. I'm curious. I'm thinking the answer is no for this question I'm about to ask you, but I don't know. So I'm going to ask.
Okay.
There's a lot of people that write books, and there's a lot of people that talk about abductions and experiencers out there. Everything from UFO to demonic to interdimensional to. Do you guys get the opportunity in MUFON to look at those stories and that sort of information? Or is your investigation focused only on the facts at hand, and that's the way you guys like it?
Yeah. Our investigation is focused just on the facts at hand,
Okay.
of what is reported to us and the evidence that is given to us by way of the witness through our initial report, and also interviews, phone interviews, or email questions, and that's what we focus on. That doesn't whatever's over here in a book or over there in a book or on TV or on this, that has no part whatsoever in it. We
Yeah.
just go by the facts of the case, which is presented to us, and do our best to figure out what we can with what we have, with no other
Yeah.
opinions coming in from the side.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense to me. You're essentially taking the facts, you're not getting tainted by other things out there.
Yeah, exactly,
That makes
exactly. Because
sense.
I mean, if you let yourself do that, you can come up with some really weird story, weird stuff, and weird answers for a case that have no bearing on it whatsoever.
Yeah.
So I keep your mind focused on the job at hand, and just forget everything else.
Yeah.
Because nowadays there's so many people out there looking for their 3 minutes of fame or whatever. And I find it hard to believe almost anything I see on the internet anymore. But I have an open mind, but I can pretty much tell something's fake or not right off the
Yeah,
bat.
that's amazing. So, John, it's interesting when we are involved in things like this. So, I do this podcast with all things strange and unexpected.
Yeah.
And people have asked me before, oh, what have you gone through? Right. And I personally, even though I believe and I'm open to it, I've never experienced anything. I'm curious, as a MUFON investigator, have you ever had anything happen to you, like personally, or experienced something or saw something? Or is this just your interest in this whole area?
Okay. Well, it started off as just an interest,
Mm-hmm.
like 13 or 14 years old. I listened to, like, in 1974 and 75, I saw a lot of UFO. There's a lot of UFO stuff going on in mid 70s. And I actually, when I was like 15 years old, I had a map on my wall, and I was mapping all this stuff on my wall with pens and stuff, all these UFO reports.
Yeah.
But when I think I was probably 19, probably 20, and I was working at a factory, and I got off like at 11 o'clock at night. And I was driving home, and my brother, he's like a year and a half younger than me. He was at his girlfriend's apartment, and he needed a ride home. And this was like 1980, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
And I was coming home, and her apartment happened to be on the way home, of course, and I saw the strange light in the sky. And I just kept looking at it, and it was brighter and, really bright. Because, I was used to seeing aircraft and stuff, most people are. And I thought it was really strange looking, and I couldn't, get over what it was. So I glanced up at it while I was driving, and I got to her apartment, and I had to walk up to the apartment to knock on the door, because back then we didn't have cell phones. I couldn't call and say, "Hey, I'm here. Come on down."
Right.
So I walked up there and knocked on the door, and her brother came out, and the first thing he said, he goes, "Hey, did you see that light in the sky up there?" I said, "Yeah, I've been watching it for the last, 20 minutes on the way here." He said, "Wasn't it strange?" I said, "Yeah, it was really strange." So I said, "Well, come on, let's go." So we went down there, and at the time I had a full-size Bronco then, a brand new one, and I get in the driver's side. My brother gets in there. He opens the door and get in the passenger side. As soon as we both get in and close the doors, this bright beam of light comes down on top of us, covering the whole Bronco. Just the Bronco, just us. The
Wow.
brightest light I've ever seen in my life. The white. Because car headlights back then, you know how the older cars, they're kind of yellowish.
Yeah.
And this was bright light. And it was so bright. And at that time, we both kind of jumped out, opened our doors, jumped out. And as soon as we jumped out, it disappeared. It was gone,
Hmm.
just like that. And I
Meaning,
know it wasn't a police helicopter
meaning like
because,
it vanished like this,
yeah,
or
just
you
like
saw it
that.
fly
Yeah.
away?
Yeah. It's just gone,
Just gone. Yeah.
And the police helicopter, we didn't know the police, because like when I was 14, 15, we'd shine our flashlights at the police helicopter, and they shine a spotlight, and we jumped down the bushes, hide from it. And so we knew it wasn't a helicopter. We couldn't hear it, and the
Yeah.
light wasn't near as bright. And we both looked at each other, and to this day, we both talk about that. To this day, some 40-something years later, we're still talking about it. We
Wow.
both remember it just like it was yesterday. And that was the weirdest experience I ever had, and I never could explain it. And when I first started MUFON field investigating, the guy that's training me, I told him that story. He goes, "Well, you're lucky. You were about to get abducted." That's what he told me.
Wow.
The first thing I told him, "Well, you don't know my brother." They probably know. They probably found out who my brother. My brother. They scanned his head real quick, and they said, "No, we don't want him." That's what I
Right.
tell everybody.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. It's crazy. Well, that's an interesting experience. And yeah, one that can stay with you because you've obviously thought about it's not a helicopter. I didn't hear any sound. Bright, super bright light. It goes
Yeah.
immediately. That's strange. Absolutely.
It was really strange. Of course, the thing that really amazed me is how bright the light was.
Yeah.
It was like daylight. I mean, just so bright. And like I said, I've never had anything like that happen since. That's been like 40 years ago, and
Hmm.
I remember this day just like it was yesterday, and I'll never forget it.
Crazy. Well, John, do you think, so you're an ERT investigator. What percentage do you think of UFO seen or UAP seen are actually also providing people that have felt they've been abducted? Is there maybe 2% or is it a high number?
UFOs that are involved in abductions.
Yeah, that
I
get
would say,
reported to you guys.
yeah, or off the top of my head, I would say maybe 2%.
Yeah.
Not very many. And right now, I'll tell you what, in Indiana, I have gotten probably in the last 2 months, probably 6 to 8
Hmm.
ERT cases. And what's really getting really strange right now seems that really is different is we're getting a lot of ERT cases without UFO sightings.
Hmm.
People are thinking they're getting abducted without seeing a UFO.
You're right.
And I'm trying to figure that out, what it is, if it's something paranormal or if it's or, or just in their head, or what's the reason they're thinking that that's an alien if they haven't seen an actual ship. But like this one case I did, she actually saw this 4 foot gray one across the hallway, which gave her reason to believe it could, it's alien.
Right.
And that's what I'm trying to figure out. Why are we getting all these abduction cases or people getting marks on their bodies? So actually, I got a new case I just got this evening. Someone didn't report a UFO, but they had marks on their fingertips.
Hmm.
But I just received that case. I haven't started on it yet, and I'm gonna have to contact the witness about that one and
Yeah.
figure maybe hopefully get some pictures of it and stuff and see what's going on with her. But we're getting a lot of those now. Just plain old, abduction cases and alien contact cases.
Yeah. It's really unsettling in a way.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Do you now are these individuals like experiencing this in their home or anywhere, like camping or hiking or walking? Or is it one place more than others that they're experiencing stuff like this?
Most of the cases I've worked on, most of them are in their home.
Okay.
I've had like one or two outside the house. One I'm still working on. It's been a year, and I'm still trying to help this guy out.
Hmm.
His happened away from home on the way home from work one evening,
Hmm.
and I'm still working on that case, and I'm trying to get a hypnotherapist on him. Figure out what's going on with him.
Yes, that's amazing. Do you notice, and maybe not, as you're looking and talking to these experiencers, are there any commonalities with them? Like meaning they were religious, they're not religious, or they're overworked, or they're, any commonalities, or is it completely just random, different people from all walks of life?
Yeah, from what I found and noticed, most of it is just random.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a lot of single moms, stay-at-home moms. I've got several of those I've noticed, and I would say the majority of the ones I get are people that stay-at-home moms. Most of them.
Yeah.
I would guess that 80% of the ERT cases are women.
Interesting.
I've never had any that are claiming any kind of sexual type abductions or anything like that. I haven't had any of those. It's all just marks and dreams and
Yeah.
odds and ends like that, but nothing sexual, which is good because that would really upset me if it was.
Yeah, and it would be difficult I would think, to really do a deep dive on something like that without.
Yeah, it'd be almost impossible for us because we can't get into that stuff like that because
Yeah.
we can't do it.
Absolutely.
That would take more of a professional, psychologist, a psychiatrist, something like that, do something like that, or an actual doctor. Because we can't,
Right.
we can't examine marks on parts of the bodies that, other than the arms and legs and stuff that can be exposed.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So, John, what do you think is going on with this whole UFO UAP thing in your mind? Is it one thing or many things? Are we looking at, just from your opinion, I know that this continues to change as we get more
Yeah.
evidence, right? But from your experience and opinion, do you think this is UFO or interdimensional time travel? Is it any thoughts? Do you have any impressions?
Well, actually, I thought about all of those. And one thing I do think is a lot of the UFOs we are seeing and alien craft supposedly are like drones, in my opinion. They're unmanned,
Mm-hmm.
which, makes sense because, you wouldn't have to worry about gravity and G forces and such like that, traveling close to the speed of light. If
Yeah.
you've got robots in there or something that's all and AI stuff, and you wouldn't have to worry about that. And Then I think interdimensional. I think that is very problem. It's possible because if you go interdimensional, then you don't have to worry about the speed of light.
Hmm.
You just go from one dimension to the next. You ain't got to worry about reaching the speed of light, which as they say is impossible. But
Right.
yeah. So then of course you got all these other stories that come along and time travel. I've thought about that too. I mean, I'm open to that possibility because deep down inside, after you keep finding all these archaeological finds, like Göbekli Tepe, that's like 12,000 years old, and we were supposed to be hunter gatherers 12,000 years ago. We weren't supposed
Right.
to be able to build cities like this, And
Yeah.
maybe and to talk about Atlantis, maybe there was an advanced civilization 20,000 years ago before the ice age and disappeared, or they had to leave the planet because of some catastrophe, and they're now coming back to check on us now. They're what they left 20,000 years ago. I mean, it's just so many different things it could be, and I
Yeah.
keep an open mind on all of them. Until I find something that really sways me one way or the other. I'm keeping an open mind on everything. What the possibilities are. I
Yeah.
don't want to focus on one thing because I got to keep my mind open because I don't know what I'm going to find.
Yeah. And it's interesting to me because in a lot of ways, I can't help but feel like we're we're being played with a little bit. You know what I mean? Like
Oh yeah,
like they're like just teasing us. They're doing things like that. Just clearly they're more intelligent and more capable than we are,
oh yeah, definitely.
and they just kind of play with that. I think it's
Yeah,
crazy.
oh yeah. And of course, and my thought is that they're benevolent. They're not here to hurt anybody. Because I tell people when we have our meetings and stuff, public meetings, I tell people, I said, there's nothing to be afraid of, in my opinion. Because if they wanted to do something to us, they'd have done it a long time ago.
Yeah.
Right? Because, why wait till we get advanced enough to fight back? Do it when we can't, 100 years ago, we don't have any type of weapons at all except guns.
Right.
You're not going to, go to a fight and the guy's got a knife and say, no, go back. I'll come back when you get a gun. You don't do that.
Yeah.
You do it while you
Exactly.
can.
Exactly. Well, John, do you think that? Well, let me ask you this: if somebody thinks that they may have experienced something, so I'm talking to everybody out there who's listening and watching, they're nervous to mention it. They're not sure. They think maybe I must be going crazy. What's your advice to somebody who's, they already think something's not right, but I don't know what to do with this.
Yeah.
What's your advice there?
Okay. And we go through that a lot of public meetings. We have so many people come up and talk to us, and that's what we're there for, to tell us their stories. And some
Hmm.
of them happened many years ago, and some of them happened pretty recently. And we just tell them, you report something to MUFON. It's completely confidential. I mean, your name is never shared. And we never release any information to the public. It's not available to the public. You've got to be a MUFON field investigator or such, and to even get into our database to look up these cases.
Hmm.
And it's perfectly safe. There's no way anybody can find out about it. I'm sure if you got a super hacker, maybe he could, but I don't think that's going to happen. But we and like abduction cases, such we have support groups. We have a list on the RT team of support groups that are for people that have alien experiences, where they can talk to people online. You can do it anyway. Once you get a hold of a support group, maybe you'll want to do it in person, or do it by phone or whatever. That's up to you. Once you get in the support group, and I always, some people, I tell them, I said, get in the support group, and it's not like a rehab support group. It's a group of people with similar experiences, and maybe you can find someone that had the same experience you did that you talked to them about, and he
Hmm.
won't feel crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, if you hear a story similar to yours or even weirder than yours, it sounds, you won't feel as bad. It'll open up about it, talk about it. The people that have been through it,
Yeah.
and it makes a big difference. It really does. And it's easy to report on because actually MUFON is coming out with a new reporting system supposedly in December. Our new database
Hmm.
is supposed to be quicker and easier for people to make the reports because some people complain that it takes too long to make reports, too many questions. And MUFON is also supposed to be coming out with a phone app where you can get on the phone app and report a UFO sighting to make it
Interesting.
easier for people to make reports. In other words, if sitting there, you see something, you're all excited, and you want to report it, and you can't, till you get, because you don't have a computer right there, and you get home, you
Right.
forget about it, or decide, well, never mind, that probably wasn't nothing. You
Yeah.
can sit right there on your phone and report it right there. How many people walk around with their phone in their hand?
Right.
95% of people.
Hmm.
So they're actually going to make it easier for people to report.
Yeah.
And every case that we get, I don't care what it is reported to MUFON. Every case gets investigated. Somebody will contact you. A field investigator will contact you for questions. And
Yeah.
that's pretty important, because a lot of people think, well, I'll make a report and nothing's going to happen. Well, it does. And MUFON, every case is reported. And every case is reported, gets a field investigator assigned to it, and he will investigate it. No matter how much he thinks it's worth, it's not important or not. It doesn't matter how important he thinks it is. It will be investigated.
Yeah, that's good to share, because I think, yeah, I mean, people may think, oh, why would I do this? They're not going to contact me. But you're saying that there's a serious effort to make sure that people are reconnected with and worked through this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Most cases we are required to, and most people do it like they're supposed to, required to contact the witness within 3 days. They will get an email or a text or a phone call. Most people start off with an email first, try to get a hold of people, and they leave it on the report. And personally, I enjoy doing phone calls, but first I'll email somebody first and try to set up a time where I can talk to them. So I don't want to bother them if they're working or something,
Yeah.
if they're don't want to talk to you because there's going to be people in the house around, or give them the opportunity to answer questions how they prefer, text, email, or phone call, make it more comfortable on them.
Right. John, this has been great. I really appreciate it. As we wrap up here today, though, I do want to ask you one more question. And this
Sure.
is, if a person, what are early indicators for somebody who may have experienced something but has blocked it out or is not sure that it happened? When, in your experience, what are some early indicators that somebody should pay attention that, wait a minute, something is weird going on here? I probably should think about it a little bit. Obviously, dreams are,
Yeah, exactly.
that's
Dreams
one,
would be
but
would be the main thing. Yeah, dreams. Yeah, and fears that you never had before, like afraid of sleeping in your own bed or your own room.
Hmm.
Uh, just anything that could bring back a memory of what happened to you.
Gotcha.
Like a lot on our questionnaires, a lot of things like you're afraid to sleep in your own bed, afraid to do things you normally do, afraid of this, afraid of that, and that's usually a sign that something's going on that you don't remember,
Right.
that you need to seek help, file a report, and ask questions, get a hold of somebody, and say open up to them, and hopefully somebody like MUFON that'll keep it confidential, and nobody else will know about it unless you want them to. I mean, that's
Right.
like, we don't give out anybody's name. I have have a couple people that wanted reduction cases that people asked about, and I said, well, I can get a hold of the witness and ask them if it's okay if they contact you.
Mm-hmm.
If I get an okay, then I'll give the information out. But normally, whoever's asking for the information, I'll give the information to the witness and have them contact that person, or have the other person contact them. And I'll leave it all to the witness, and from then on, it's up to them, whatever they do with it.
Yeah.
It's not my choice, it's theirs.
Makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Well, look, this has been great. I'm so glad you took some time here with us and to share this case, and really the fact that there may be more going on here in terms of other people getting marks and things like that on them.
Yeah.
It's pretty important and something that people should be aware of. So,
exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, if anything happens to you, or you feel like you've been abducted, or check your body, get in the shower and check
Right.
your body for marks. And it could be small, it could be something like that. Like I said, some of these people said that they've disappeared within a day sometimes, not there for long. So,
yeah. John, anything you want to share with the listeners about any of this as we close up here, just in this space, that people should be thinking or know about?
Truthfully, honestly, this is a really strange subject, abductions. A lot of people don't want to talk about it or admit it could be happening. But from some of the things I've witnessed, and the witnesses I talked to, there's some really strange things going on. Something that really warrants further investigation. And I really believe that people really, really need to be investigated more of these abductions because there's so many have happened. I mean, you get 6 or 8 abduction reports in one state in a month, almost in almost every state. Something's going on. All these people aren't crazy, and they're all not liars.
Right.
Something is going on. I mean, there's some people that might think something's happened to them and mistaken. Their mind's telling this, and it didn't really happen, but not all of them. I mean,
You're right.
there's something definitely going on here. Just like the case I'm working on now, another one, and this guy filmed a video somewhere and had a police report where he was. The police walked up to him, and I saw the video, and then he showed me, and he went back to that place after about 6 months. He had the nerve to go back to it, visit it again.
Mm-hmm.
The place where the video was filmed, he said he was not at that place. He was down the road from that place. And he's got a tower sitting there, a radio tower, and a propane tank. He said, I was not there. I was down the road somewhere else.
Mm.
And he had lost time. So
Yeah.
that's to be determined.
Yeah, exactly.
it's something's going on.
Jeez.
And this guy has a master. He's a professional, has a master's degree, so he's not crazy.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well,
Yeah.
we continue to learn about things in this space, and who knows what we're going to find out. But thank you for you and people like you who are taking the time to really help try to figure out what's going on here and really doing a deep dive on all of these things because,
No.
I think
I'm happy to be here with you guys and
Yeah.
share the stories, and help people know what's going on out there. And hopefully one day we'll get some answers. Hopefully before I die, I'd like to have a couple answers. I might not get all of them. I'd like to have a few of them.
I'm with
Figure
you.
out what's going on.
I'm with you. my friend.
I hate to go die and go to the grave not knowing anything.
Exactly. Well, John, once again, thank you so much for being with us and sharing this case and what's gone on and what people need to be thinking about out there. Like, is there more people being marked up, abducted? What's going on? And for everybody out there, thank you again for listening. And just remember, there's a lot of strange and unexpected out there. So always keep your eyes, ears, and minds open. And until next time, take care. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out with us a bit today. This year, in 2026, we're going to keep trying to get you interesting and varied, strange and unexpected stories, and maybe more experiencers as well. Now, if you like looking at all kinds of things, from UFOs to cryptids, or obscure events and conditions, help a small channel out so we can get more footing by subscribing and hitting the like button. It really does help a small channel out. But other than that, stay safe, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you for listening to High Strangeness. This was a glance at some of the strange that exists in our reality.